Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review episode 207. This reviewing the 985th episode of the anime, which is called Feelings Toward O-tama, Luffy's Furious Blow. Yep, and the 1020th chapter of the manga, which I will get. This one's quite interesting. Now, this episode adapts from the rest of chapter 979, pages 10 and 15. Yeah, they finally put this in after skipping over this bit from last week. My guess they probably cut this because of time, and they probably want to save this for this week. And the way presented the episode is actually quite ingenious, basically from the beginning. And also, they apparently, Alliance says apparently they cover pages 2 through 7 of 280. I looked at it and no, they didn't. They went to page 6, not page 7. I probably should correct that. Yeah. Well, I would say in the preview, you can say that it probably covered the next bit of the manga. Yes, definitely. Where is it? Yeah. So they start off with basically the Tamarami going off to meet Kaido. To basically show them meeting him, and of course, Kaido explains he didn't summon them. And it turns out it was King who summoned him. Jack is there. He doesn't say anything, but he's clearly in this scene. Yes, he's just lazy like this too in the manga. King basically summons him because he figured though he might need them. That's mainly the reason why he summoned him, because because of a small incident that happened. What small incident, you might ask? Ooh, let's see. Not really sure exactly what could have been the small incident. It could be anything. So they're tasked by Kaido to look for Yamato. Just ringing it because apparently it's an important announcement, and it involves him. And then of course he calls in, what's this kid's name? Bo Hansing. Yeah, I believe this is. Yeah, this actually is a debut of the character. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where she flies in. And her job is simply to read out the schedule. They actually show her actually flying into the room instead of just coming completely random like it is in the manga. And then simply have all the schedule about the speeches and the important announcements about Yamato. He's like, how annoying. And it's involving Yamato. And of course, after tasking him to also show that the characters Who's Who and Circuit, who are part of this group of the top artists, they want a position as a lead performer. And of course, Kaido says, if you accomplish this, you can challenge any lead performers. I'm like, okay, and that's that. Yep, we do see briefly Big Mom. We see her basically finishing up putting on her kimono and showing off her lipstick. And that's all you see from Big Mom. That just brief little bit for her after not being seen the last several episodes. Then, of course, we pick up from last week, where Luffy is mad over at these three pirates for spilling over the red bean soup. In the manga, they call it a chakru for some reason. I'm not really sure why. And this, of course, is the Funimation sub. They call it in the anime. They call it red bean soup because that's clearly what it looks like. In the manga, it referred to as a chuko for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Though, of course, this is basically Weekly Shonen Jump translated possibly by Viz Media. And for some reason, they call it two different names. I don't get it. Yeah, this is like I do prefer the Weekly Shonen Jump translations of a lot of these stuff, but I don't like that one because I like the anime translation better. So basically, also eating a bunch of the red bean soup, he proceeds to basically using his gum gum fruit on the guys and smashing them. Meanwhile, though, we also while this is going on before he has his gum gum elephant gun on him, we see Zoro like seeing all this food here. And he basically is mad that these guys are eating all this good food, and yet there are people in Oak Village who are starving. And he, of course, has to fight with several of the guys. A lot of them basically doesn't even take a sword on cut them. He simply just punches them, or he just hits them with the handle. Because from his perspective, these guys are not worth the time using a sword on them. Meanwhile, that we see Captain Kidd just walking right through, and him asking using haki to intimidate a couple of animal beast pirates, Animal Kingdom pirates, asking where Kaido is. Like, he's up there. Like, okay. And of course, they walk off. And of course, they see what Zoro and Luffy are up to, where Luffy smashes like 3 pirates, and then we see Zoro actually slicing up a tower. Because he figures this is where Luffy is, so he slices the tower up. We actually see in the anime, the manga didn't show this. It's like the tower's already been collapsed, and then of course Zoro's like, "Oh, this is where you are. Like, why are you so angry?" Like they intentionally spilled the red bean soup, and Zoro's like, "What?" And that's where the episode ends. He get angry over spilling red bean soup. Like from my perspective, like really, you spilled soup? Yeah, you're terrible people, but. From that perspective, this is what Tama likes to eat. And of course, Luffy complains, why you guys are eating this while Tama, basically his stomach is empty. This episode, really good, and I can't wait for next week. Because, well, we're going to get some scratch from Arco next week. Yep. Now on to the newest chapter of the manga. Chapter 1020. Robin versus Black Maria. Yep. Yeah, and the cover image is, get this, Danjiro just eating like a lamb. Actually, no, he's eating a giant shrimp, which I find to be, like, he thinks he's eating a giant shrimp, it's actually his hair, which I find to be so hilarious. And then we cut to seeing, first we open up the chapter, we're seeing Yamato versus Kaido, and see they're battling. And despite the fact look like Yamato might lose, like, of course she knows that. And apparently she knows about Odin's plan to open up the borders. Yep, and then Nika Robin sees illusions of her late mother, Nika Olivia, and Professor Clover. Despite the fact both these two are dead. Like, Clover got killed by the father of that one character from Enies Lobby arc, and her mother, same thing. And she saw another guy who's dead. This guy was killed by Aokiji in a flashback. He, of course, had no choice in the matter. He had to kill him. And, of course, well, Brooke's like, stop, don't go. And then, of course, she finds out these 3 people are actually not them, but, like, 3 people who ate smile fruit. Who apparently, appearance-wise, one of them looks kind of like one of this first one here, Nur Oja. She reminds me a lot of Bo Hancock's sisters. I think it was, Bo, I think, is like very similar face. Oh, could be reusing the character design. The one in the middle kind of looks like a redesign of Carrot, but in snake form, and the one on the right, well, looks kind of like, well, Robin, it basically had sharp teeth and a tongue. The one looks like Carrot, that one's name is Keterin, and the one who looks like... Anyways, yes. So smacks those creatures, and then of course Big Maria comes in, who is basically half spider, because she's a spider lady. And of course you have Brooke and her run away. Yeah, she says, Urashimi was working on you. Stole your memories. But you don't have right there. Well, after years of practice of wishing every day that death of your friends was only a dream, it does get used a little by illusions. That's what you have in common. Ho ho yo ho ho. Yep, tries every day. And of course, Black Maria uses her staff on them. Of course, they run away, and she flies up in the air. Also, I should point out though, she basically has moved her top, and she has basically her breasts wrapped in like this bandage thing, typical samurai stuff. And of course, she uses Spider-Net, and of course, well, Brooke asks her, "Would you mind dangling me your arm for a little longer?" And then he just brings out his spirit. Of course, she's like creeped out by it, and apparently that takes out the staff, and it breaks. And then of course he apparently gets back to it, takes out his sword, and Soul of Pride, Ice Burn. And then we have Nico Robin facing with Black Maria one-on-one. He's like, "You're just the baggage of your crew. That target of figures big and powerful. I see can guide you to me. Sanji." Now Black Lady is the laughing stock of all Okishima. And suppose he has a number 2 bounty. There's a level of your crew. Yo ho. Oh, that's Sanji. I nearly split Shem laughing. "Robin, do you quite mind if I leave it to you?" And she's like, "Thank you. I was hoping you would ask." And while he handles basically Black Maria's subordinates, I'll take myself to deal with these possession of ghouls. And I do hate ghouls. Look at Black Maria's like, "Oh, did I hurt your feelings?" "No, he's a very kind man." You don't know what it means that Sanji relied upon me for help. He's a trustworthy member being the wings of the King of the Pirates. Glitter for, and of course she forms like a giant-sized bird along with like a bunch of arms. And then apparently we cut to the outside where apparently like Luffy is back in regular Wano, where he's being bandaged up by, well, he's looked after by the Heart Pirates. Like he's basically, of course, asking for meat. Meat. And then Kabaroi shows up, basically saying he was together. And of course, then he asks Momo, "Take it back up there. Turn the dragon, fly me up." And that's where the chapter ends. Like, okay, so at least they accomplished a little subplot of, well, Momo's rescue. That was settled like a little while ago. So he's perfectly fine. So he's basically safe and sound. Now Luffy has to go back and continue his fight with Kaido, who's fighting his own daughter. Which, yes, and I do believe that Yamato will join the crew. I mean, Jinbei basically already agreed to join the crew, and Carrot's already technically a member of the crew due to the fact she hangs out with them. I would not be surprised. Yamato probably will join the crew. Probably. Tama says she wants to join the crew. Luffy probably wouldn't have a problem with it at all. I mean, aside from Yamato and Tama, and of course, well, Carrot, get to give other people who could join the crew. I mean, I don't think Shinobu herself, I don't think she has any desire to join the crew at all. Not really, no. I would probably say the only other person who I think might be interested in joining the crew, maybe as a guest, is probably Momo's sister. Yeah, probably because she has a thing for Zoro. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, but we'll find out when this arc finishes up. Yep. Oh, by the way, I get this chapter a 10 out of 10 because we're setting up something for more. And I love the fact we actually have Black Maria versus Robin. And it's interesting though, we finally have her move her top at the basically, like as a guy, basically I like saying that. Though she wears a female samurai bra, basically bandages wrapped around her breast, which typical female samurai would wear. That guys would not wear that at all. Yep, so yeah, that's it for Cycle of You. Next one's going to be Baruto. And that'll probably be it for today. I might do another video after that, but that's probably our last regular one, okay? So next video. Bye.